painting for beginners. This is Ling Chi, and today we're going to do some holiday related paint your own cards. We'll paint a little subject, a pine cone, and then we'll show you how to finish a card. And I'm using two of my favorite brushes, the Twig Brush, small Twig Brush, which is good for small dots as well as chunk in this small subject. And then I also will use a pine needle brush, which we have small and large size. I happen to have a large size, but usually for this size of painting, a small is good enough. And then color-wise, I'm using the companion set for the convenience. I'm going to use the green, the yellow, and then the brown. And then I have Best Bottle ink, a little bit here. And then we need some white, so I'm using the Davinci White. And I'll squeeze a little bit in the palette. This is a quick, simple subject. It's real easy for beginners. And I'm going to start with this corner as pine needles. And then I'll finish the pine cone up here. So we'll do the pine needle first. Mixing brush. So this yellow from the companion set, it's kind of harsh. So to make it look more true to the pine needle color, so I'm mixing yellow with the green. So there is a group of them. You can do from the bottom to the top, whichever you can get a sharp point, or you can do from the top to the bottom. I have another right here. And then we'll connect it with the Twig Brush later on. And then the pine cone, I'm going to use my Twig Brush and start with a little white. Whenever you use squash white as the first layer, you always want it to clear your tip a little bit, because otherwise it kind of loses the transparency. And then I will dip a little bit with the brown and then a little ink in the tip. So then I'm doing the big pine cone right here. Then a small one on this, a little bit kitty corner from the other side. So it's butter out, so a little bit more. Lighter color. So then I accent a little bit with darker color. So the gesture of pine cone is done. Then I'm going to use the Twig Brush. This time I'm loading the brown. And I'm going to use a little ink. So then it started with about a little bit below the pine cone. And then I'm doing so now I'm connecting the pine leaves. So then I use a little bit ink. To connect these. So then I'm using the pine needle brush, add some black needles into to tie everything together. And then I'm using the brown again a little bit, and then tying the two pine cone to the main branch. So that's it. Then I'm done for this particular painting. And I hope you have fun, and then we'll continue to do some holiday subjects. Now we're going to explain how do we finish a card. So this particular paper, what we call is our practice Xuan. The color is very similar on the cardstock that we stock in the at OAS. So you can see when we, and has a pretty deco edge. When we put the subject onto the card, then you can blend it in. You can hardly see any edges. Okay, and then we use the glue stick. And cover the whole painting, the back. Make sure you're not too rough so you don't tore the rice paper. So this cardstock is can blend in any of the handmade Xuan that we have.
And this is a painting that you did earlier, so it's dry now.
So yeah, so I didn't use the one that I just paint because then it's too wet to handle the rubbing of the. And I'm just going to use my hand to smooth it out. But if you have one of those artists use roller, that would be good to roll it flat. But my hand is going to be good enough. So the glue has kind of purple, but then once it dries clear. And you can see that it's very clear now. So then I will put in a heavy tabletop book inside so it has some weight to let it dry, or you can put something heavy over it and then it will dry flat. So this is how it's finished. You can see, you can hardly tell the edges.
And this is one of the cards that's included in our paint your own cards.
Right. And then
it comes with an envelope.
It comes with 10 cards and 10 envelopes. So it's a great holiday thing to do for your friends and family. And then in the following weeks, we'll do some more holiday subjects. But then you can do anything with it, or you can just paint a flower. And I will show you yesterday when I was trying to prepare for today's class, and I was having a hard time with the IRS about paying my taxes at extension of my income tax, and then I'm so frustrated. So I just did some really spontaneous things that while I was running around. So I will show it to you that what you can do having fun with that kind of things. So this is one thing. And then I'm also going to show you that what we can do with longer fiber paper like dragon clouds, and how do we so get your size exactly what you wanted, and then you can do torn edges. So after this, I'll show it to you. So this is the two on the dragon claw. So what I did is that I have a piece of dragon claw paper, and to get the size what I wanted, and I'll show you how. I don't want to take the time to measure it, but you can measure the size you want it, and then you use a ruler. And a brush. You wet the brush, and then you wet it, and then you tear. Real easy. And you can leave as it is, or if you are much more meticulously, when it's dry, use toothbrush. Brush all the fiber out, so it will be very pretty. So that's if you have longer, like mulberry paper and pea paper or dragon claw. This is a good way to do it. And then you can, because this paper is whiter, so you want to show the pretty edges on the cardstock, and that's one way of doing it. But anyhow, I want to show you that during my running around frustration trying to prepare for today's class, but I did something really fun, and with it's gold flat paper. So I would just like, not any particular things on my mind. I just wanted to do something, just kind of release my tension. And I will show it to you right now. That is how beautiful it can be if you just let it go. And so I have one of our gray gold flat paper, and I have my favorite full Lotus brush, which is a large Lotus brush. And then I just like, I could load some color first, or you don't have to, or you can just use ink alone. And I will show it to you that what I did. I didn't have any particular things on my mind because, you know, like I said, I really didn't want to think about anything after I was running around and the IRS sent me around the website and I was so frustrated. So what I did was I just have this piece of gold flat paper. I just like kind of so I was fooling around and so, you know, it was a good release of tension. When it's dry, you can also just kind of carve around with a wet brush. And then carefully turn it. So amazingly, it will dry flat. You don't really need to mount it because it's such a small work. So then you can just get any kind of cardstock size. And then when it's dry, you can just paste it at this. And have fun, and it's, you know, we're going through a very busy season. At the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, you can see I have some natural light in our warehouse, and it's such a good way of doing something fun, and also can offer to you, gift it to your friends and families. Happy painting. See you next time.